Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Kitchen Angle podcast. I want to say thank you to my loyal listeners out there. Seeing a lot of viewership on the Spotify app, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, just about every podcast platform out there. Thank you. Thank you for choosing to listen to us here on the Kitchen Angle. This show is growing into a big margin. It really is. And very, very soon, we will be launching a new Facebook page. Yes, that is correct, folks. The Kitchen Angle will have another home. Facebook will be coming soon, very, very soon. It's actually in the works. My handlers are helping me out create a page for you, the viewer. And on this page, it's all on you. If you want suggestions added to the show, drop a comment on Facebook there, or leave me a message through Messenger there. It's all on you. Anything you want to hear on the show, maybe something I'm not speaking directly about, or something that you don't want me to speak, okay, that's go both ways. That's you. You know, you the viewer, I'm leaving this for you on my Facebook page, The Kitchen Angle, which will be launching very, very soon. Okay? Also, you can hear all my shows on the Kitchen Angle Facebook page, which will be very, very soon added onto. And usually about an hour after I do my podcast, they are launched everywhere, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Anywhere you hear a podcast, it will be launched within an hour. That's right, folks. So as always, thank you for tuning into the Kitchen Angle podcast. And we'll see you on the next one. Welcome to another episode of the Kitchen Angle podcast. Your host, Mike. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition to the Kitchen Angle podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and on to a lot of different topics tonight. I want to try. I said I'm going to try. I'm not going to promise anything. To set politics to the side for just a little bit here. I'm trying to understand just the logic and just trying to make sense of this whole year. This whole year has been very, very strange, odd, and sometimes crazy with the mix of all of it. I mean, we have things that are just going on today that, are making people more negative, less positive. And this whole year is literally ripping people apart. Relationships, families, friendships, everything. Everybody today, folks, is just more negative than they ever been in their entire life. And I just don't understand that. I don't understand why the negativity. Why? Like, what is going on? Like, seriously. Is it more normal to literally, rip somebody apart in a conversation, yell at them to an extent where, is that the new norm? Is that the new norm to hate? Is that the new norm to create division in this country? Strike me as if anything, I just don't understand. I don't understand. Oh, boy. But with that being said, welcome to today's show. We got a lot to talk about. I kind of opened up the show with this just crazy saga of 2020. You know, is everybody getting a little sick and tired of COVID? I am. I don't know about you. You know, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But first thing first, we're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be right back after these words. Hey guys, welcome back. This podcast is sponsored by Anchor Podcasting. Anchor, what a great app. I'm telling you right now, folks, if you're looking for a podcast to start out, choose Anchor. I'm telling you what, Anchor is out there, guys. It really is. It really is. I love Anchor, and it's great. It really is. It's a good app.
It's tough to know where to start. That's why Anchor gives podcasters the tools they need to make each episode better than the last. Now, Anchor Analytics includes new stats from Spotify to help you better understand who's listening and what they like about your show. With charts that let you see how far people are making it into each episode and where they're dropping off, you can plan your podcast around the content that performs best. Hover over to see how many people are tuning into specific segments and learn what hooks your audience by comparing the average listening time across multiple episodes. Using anonymized demographic data from Spotify, take a granular look at the age and gender of your listeners to start tailoring your content or targeting new audiences. Track analytics from multiple platforms and Spotify insights. Everything you need to grow your podcast all in one place with Anchor.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. For those who's just joining in, we're talking about a lot of different topics. I started off with the show with just a weird scenario, saga, whatever you want to, come to calling it for 2020. But I'm telling you what, this year is I don't understand it. I don't get it. I can't can't contrast. I'm looking for the correct words. Words a little off. But I'm trying to understand where this year is trying to go, or at least where it wants to go, right? For that matter. I mean, you have families now that are so divided within themselves. Friendships that's been torn apart from everything. Everything. Just literally everything. Everything is just, it's just... is being blown out of proportions. 2020 showing people's true colors, so to speak. I mean, in this crisis like this, people and organizations are starting to show their true colors. They really are. We're seeing division now in this country. We're seeing selective racism in this country. And I want to touch base on the selected racism in this country, because we're seeing that, folks. We're seeing that in very large numbers. And like I said, 2020, the year 2020, is starting to show its true colors. We are living through what are now people are coming to calling it the COVID era, And I'm sorry to laugh, but it's true, folks. It's true. Like I said, in this crisis like this global pandemic, epidemic, whatever the hell you want to come to calling it, people and businesses are starting to show their true colors. I want to say one thing. How are you focusing your time as you lead through this crisis? Well, you might be an entrepreneur, you might be a businessman, you might be an employee, a coworker, whatever. How are you focusing your time as you lead through this crisis? Now, a lot of people, a lot of my listeners are, probably scratching their heads or coming to, say, hey, what is Mike talking about? Well, our response has been twofold, okay? People and technology, first and foremost, we have been prioritized, okay? we have been focusing our time, our energy, and just our priorities on just simple-minded things, okay? We're not going on trips as we once were, okay? We're not taking luxurious type of vacations. We're not seeing family and friends as much as we did prior to the COVID era. Okay, we're basically we're being more vulnerable, and we're self-isolating ourselves with the tools that we need to basically survive this thing. That's what I think people are coming to focus their time in this crisis. And it's sad because, like I said, are we seeing a new norm in this country? Matter of fact, are we seeing a new norm in the world? Because there's other countries, folks, that are doing the very, very same thing. The very same thing. Like I say, this whole thing, you have to watch out, okay? You have to watch this COVID, because what we are seeing, folks, is COVID is becoming people, making people more depressed, more vulnerable to diseases and viruses, not only to COVID, but other respiratory diseases and viruses. Okay, people are becoming more depressed. Their anxieties are at a level of that no one's seen before, or heard of. People are just becoming more depressed. I mean, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I don't blame them when you have crooked politicians. I'm sorry, folks. I said I was going to try my best not to get political here on this show, okay? But you can't. You can't. I mean, you're. I'm trying my hardest not to be political on this show, but it's a little hard to, when everything we live in this world is nothing but political. Okay, everything is political. I mean, the damn virus that we're living through, this pandemic, this crisis, this health scare, whatever you want to come to calling it, is nothing but political. Okay, it's being a political weapon, so to speak. It really is, and the reason why I'm saying that is because, as the months go by, we're seeing what this virus truly is, what it truly is. As you can hear, I'm filming this show in the studio, and it's very loud out there. I mean, is there a protest going outside of the studio here? Who knows? Anyway, but it's being politicized as a weapon. This whole thing, it's being politicized as a weapon. It's making people hate people more. Oh, you want to talk about that? You want to talk about that? You can look at. I want to jump the gun here for a minute, and then we'll get back to the whole 2020 and what this whole year has been bringing us. You want to talk about hate? Do you know that the Black Lives Matter are being paid by leftist groups hundreds of millions of dollars to create hate towards the United States and hate white people? Did you know that? I didn't know that. It just dawned to me that just briefly here. I'm reading an article here that the Black Lives Matter, okay, are being paid hundreds of millions of dollars to create all this, and other leftist organizations. But let's get back to what 2020 is bringing us, folks, because it's bringing us on a path where. We're not sure of the future. We're not sure of the future. Here's a question here that one of my listeners left for me on my page here on one of the main podcast platforms that the Kitchen Angle basically gets all its good feed off of Anchor. One of my listeners says, "What do you see happening after the November 3rd election, and where do you think our country is going to go?" Well, I'm just going to say to my listener, just use your first name and where you're from for privacy issues. This coming out of Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, wow. Cleveland. Out of all places, Cleveland. And this is coming from Barry from Cleveland, Ohio. Well, Barry, I see a lot of different angles happening after November 3rd. I hope that the American people comes to senses, okay, or come to their senses and elects the right leadership for our country for the next 4 years, okay? I hope to God that Biden doesn't get in. That's my view on it, okay? That's a strong view. Where do I see our country going, Barry? I like to see it going in a positive direction. I like to see the social distancing ending. I like to see people using common sense a little bit more. I like to see the hate ending. Okay, I like to see the division ending. I like to see just our country getting back to where it was before March of this year. I mean, I'd like to. I mean, are we promised anything? No, we're not promised anything in this world. We just live for the day by day. We're not promised a damn thing. I mean, sadly, a bus can come over and run you over, and that'd be the end of it. I mean, sadly, I don't wish that on anybody, but, you never know. Your day is not promised. You live your day to the fullest, and that's that. Folks, we're going to take another break here, and we'll be right back after these short words. Don't go anywhere. That's what I say. I say a lot about different things on the show. You got to keep on keeping on, but, then I'd be talking like Joe, right? I'd be talking like Joe, like, old Joe Biden. I'm telling you. Where's this country going? Where is this country going? Where's it going? Oh, I don't know. Does anybody know where this country's going? I hope to God that this country's going in a positive path for the next, 100 years, 200 years, because, folks, our democracy, our way of life, our liberties, our freedoms, I mean, they're completely, it's being thrown out the window, so to speak. It really is. This country, folks, has nothing but hate, destruction in its eyes. The country today, I have no idea. I have no idea where this country is going. Do you want to live in a country where your freedoms and liberties are being thrown out the window? Literally. Do you want to live in a country where other countries hate the United States? Because, folks, you are seeing that in this country. The division, the hatred, the chaos in this country. I mean, seriously, what more does it have to, what more do we have to live through? I mean, seriously. Do you want to live through a communist country? Do you want to live through just constant hate and division? I've said it time after time. I don't know how much more this country has to endure. I don't know how much this more this country has to endure. Seriously, it's getting so bad right now, where people just don't know nothing. They don't know nothing but hate now in this country. Selected racism. I mean, it's terrible. It really is, folks. It's really bad.
After years of nuclear negotiations between Iran and the United States, tensions have soared to a new high. both countries hold extremely negative views of each other. Iranian leaders are even known to chant "Death to America" in their public addresses. However, some countries have even less favorable views of the U.S. So which countries hate America the most? Well, according to a recent Pew poll surveying 40 countries throughout the world, the Middle East is the most critical region of the U.S. and its actions. Since 2001, the United States has fought a war on terror throughout nations like Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria. This has
telling you, folks, I played that little sound clip there into the show just to show you what's going on in the world. Do you want the world? Okay, you can't change the world, folks. You can't. I'm sorry, but you can't change the world's views, the thoughts of one's individual mindset. You can't. Okay, you can't change other countries' views on America. But folks, we can change the individual views here in this country. We can as a country. We can as an American society, as whatever you want to call it. Okay? Frankly, I am proud to live in a country, folks, where I have freedom of speech. Okay? I have rights as an American citizen to do what I want to do, wear what I want to wear, go where I want to go, okay, and live where I want to live, okay? What country in the world has that same opportunity? Not many. Not many countries in the world, folks. You are seeing your country today, folks. You're seeing America being ripped apart by leftist, destructionist, activist, crazy people, okay? If that sums it up a little bit. This country is being ripped apart by crazy mobs of people, okay, that are being paid by just psychotic groups to hate America. These groups, folks, they want to change culture. They want to change the view of America. Oh, no, that group is more privileged than the other. That group gets more money than one person does. Oh, all of a sudden, because you make more money than one person, you're considered a racist, or you're considered white privileged, or this and that. That is the selected racism I'm talking about, folks. You see it every day in this country, and it's getting worse by the moment. It's getting worse by the moment. You're seeing it in politics. It's gotten so far that politics literally are ripping each other apart by the threads. I mean, we've seen it since Barack Obama had took office. That's when the hate was starting to formulate in this country. That's when the division was starting to formulate in this country. Since 2008, this country literally has been on life support to try to overturn it itself. Folks, we have to wake up. We have to put our thinking caps on. We have to be a country. We have to be great. Again, it's not just a political message. We have to get this country turned around, or we will not have a country in the next 20, 30 years. The country will always be a country, but it's not going to be the same country that your grandparents grew up to. It's not going to be the same country that your mother and father grew up to. Hell, it's not even going to be the same country that you grew up to, okay, as a child. And speaking of children, have you seen the society of children today? They're out of control. They're out of control. They're acting like the parents because these kids they don't even know the word no. They do not know what the word no is. They look at their parents and curse them out. My goodness, if I ever cursed my mother out the way these kids carry on today, oh man, I get slapped upside the head. But you don't have that discipline now. You can't even discipline your kids like you once done before. Because now if you hit your child or you try to do hard discipline, oh no, the kid calls the cops and the parents go to jail and the kid gets sent to foster care. Then the kid gets more crazier than he was before. Because he's in another element of parenting. He's now in foster care. It's foster care. That's why these kids today are crazy. That's why this society is crazy. Folks, I'm telling you. I'm going to talk about a story here. Did you hear now that the debates now with President Trump, okay, are canceled? Yeah, the next debate between, I don't know, is this true? Is this, pull up an article here, talking to Paul. Paul, it's my editor here. Paul, pull up the article on the Trump-Biden next debate. The next debate was supposed to be scheduled for, what was it, October 12th, October 15th? I think it's the 12th. We're pulling it up now here. Yeah, October 15th. I was correct. See, there's three of them. There was the September 29th. We've seen that one. The next one was scheduled for October 15th and then October 22nd. Are we going to see... And then, of course, the vice presidential debate between Harris and Pence, that was already scheduled for the 7th. That was the other night, which wasn't bad. I actually watched the debate between Pence and Biden. I even had a recap of my show yesterday, but that one wasn't bad. But now I'm being told that the next presidential debate between Trump and Biden on the 15th of next week is going to be canceled. The commission, the presidential commission, cancels the second debate between Biden and Trump. Oh, you got to hear this. They canceled it because what they wanted to do was they wanted to have a virtual town hall type of scenario between the debate between Trump and Biden. Well, why couldn't you? Why does it have to be virtual? Why can't it? I mean, if you want to go all neurotic with it, why can't it just be what they had with Pence and Harris? Put some plexiglass up, separate them an extra 6 feet, put 12 feet. Oh no, it's not good enough. It's not good. I guess it wasn't good enough for Biden. No, Biden didn't want to have that. No. No. We have to have a virtual. We have to have a virtual. We have to have a virtual. Oh boy, I'm sounding like Bernie Sanders there. That was a bad impression of Biden. I'm sorry, guys. Trying to put a little humor into the show, But, Biden said, we have to have a virtual. We have to have the virtual because I don't want to be publicly humiliated on national TV again by Trump. We all know who won that debate. We all know who won the debate. It was Trump by a margin. And what was really embarrassing was how the moderator was constantly saying to Trump, please stop interrupting him. Isn't that a debate, folks? Isn't that what a debate is? I mean, seriously. Is this what our country is coming down to? Simple little temper tantrums with adults because one person didn't get their way? The Democratic Party didn't get their way in 2016, so it's been one attack after the next. Oh, boy. I'm telling you. Certain children today act more mature than an average adult. It's true. Oh, it's true. But yeah, the commission cancels the second debate between Trump and Biden. Trump, the reason for that, I was getting into it, was the reason for it is because Trump said to the commission that the president declined to do a virtual debate. Well, I would too. Because a debate, I mean, come on. With all the modern technology, technology's great, guys. Don't get me wrong. Technology is wonderful, okay? It's wonderful. It's a powerful tool. It's really great. It's really awesome that we have this technology, okay? But when you're debating, okay, for the future of this country, you want Americans, to see it live. Well, yeah, you're live when you do virtual, but it's not the same thing, folks. It's not the same thing where you have the moderator in front of you, you have the one presidential candidate on one side and the other presidential candidate on the other side, battling each other with topics, scenarios, views, thoughts. It's not the same thing when you do it virtual. I get what Trump is saying. So let's read here more. The Commission on the Presidential Debates on Friday canceled, just today, earlier today, canceled the second debate between Trump and Biden next week after the president declined to do a virtual debate. Like I said, I don't blame Trump, despite concerns over his COVID-19 diagnosis, organizers said. This man, is a fighter. I mean, just underwent coronavirus and now is risking it all still wants to get on stage and debate. This man's a warrior. You're telling me you don't want that as a president? Oh boy. Let's see. The cancellation is the cancellation of a furious 48-hour back and forth between the commission and both campaigns, and means what would have been the third debate in Nashville on October 22nd will likely be the final meeting between the two candidates. The Wall Street Journal was first to report on the commission's decision. Yeah, this came out of the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, figures. There's actually the whole damn article I just read was nothing but negative vibes, negative views, and like I just mentioned, that's what the world is today, folks. Negative. It's all negative. There's nothing positive about any of this. So it's now apparent there will be no debate on October 15th, and the CBD will turn its attention to preparations for the final presidential debate scheduled for October 22nd, the commission said in a statement. Are we even going to see it, the last debate on the 22nd? I hope so. Because in debates, I don't know if people know this, but in presidential debates, usually the second and third one means everything to the American voter. The first one, maybe, depending on the topics. But the second and third one means everything to American voters. It does. That's where the American voter, that's where the supporter, on whatever side, Democratic or Republican, is seeing the views and topics. That's where their decision makes a difference for the final say before the general election. So I get why Trump declined the virtual debate. It's silly. You just had a vice presidential debate, with plexiglass. I mean, you should have seen it, folks. They went all out. It was erotic. The plexiglass. It was like, was I watching a debate or was I watching two inmates talking to one another in a jail cell with the plexiglass and everything else? And I was going to say, hey, you might want to give them a telephone or something. You want to be a little bit more erotic. But I get it. For safety and precautions and everything else. But folks, this is getting a little neurotic. This whole thing. But with that being said, folks, I mean, seriously. Oh, and you got it. And the response to Trump's cancellation. Oh, you got to listen to this here. I'm almost done here because this whole article. I feel like it's more favoring Biden than it is for Trump. There's the hate. There's the attacks. It's nothing but that. The media is known for that. I've said it time after time. The media is the true American enemy. It really is. It's the enemy of the people. In the response to Trump's cancellation, a Biden spokeswoman swiftly said that they would have agreed to a virtual format for next Thursday's contest. Of course they would. Of course. Because they don't want to get Biden. Folks, and here's where it boils down to. they were gonna set Trump up for another. Hey, I got you. You know, but I'm telling you what, right now, guys, Trump is a warrior. He's not a puppet for the Washington swamp. He's not. Oh, a Biden spokeswoman swiftly said they would have had agreed to a virtual format for next Thursday's contest. But the president had seemingly bailed. They had to use those words, bailed. Come on, folks. That would be the first virtual debate in presidential history? In presidential debate history? Come on. Every debate in American history has always been held on some form of a stage, an arena, a town hall, wherever. Okay? Wherever they wanted to hold it that year. So I get why the president declined it. I mean, you're putting a mockery of an historic presidential debate and you want to make it a virtual debate format? Well, it's good for Biden. He doesn't have to get up on the stage and read off of a teleprompter. You know? Oh, what do I say? I say that? I say that? Do I say this? Do I say it? Biden doesn't even know if he's alive half the time. Needless to say, doesn't even know where he's at. His handlers, his advisors have to advise him to tell him what to say. I mean, seriously, Biden is shot out. That's not a leader. And it's certainly not a person that I would vote into office. Needless to say, I wouldn't trust him with foreign policies because Biden is not all there. I mean, he's 78 years old, and dementia is setting in really, really, really bad for him. So, what are we going to see? Are we going to see the debates for next week? Hardly, but possibly. Who knows? Maybe over the weekend, you know, Trump's advisors or his, you know, somebody will say, "Hey, Trump, you know, Mr. President, sir, we strongly agree that you should do the virtual debates." But I'm telling you what, the cancellation, I think, is a political loss for Trump. Okay, it is. It's a political loss for Trump, but in a way, he's not caving in to the Washington swamp. He's not. He, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is.
When I look at their plan that talks about advancing testing, creating new PPE, developing a vaccine, it looks a little bit like plagiarism, which is something Joe Biden knows a little bit about.
The American people have witnessed what is the greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country. We have to get a hold of what has been going on, and we need to save our country. And Joe Biden is the best leader to do that. And frankly, this administration has forfeited their right to re-election.
But Vice President Pence...
I tell you, stop it right there. This is more attacks on the radical left. We're talking about how just before I took another break here, we're talking about how this is Harris now sparring over key issues during the debate with Pence. That the administration has done nothing for the American people. Nothing for the American people. Maybe these two have been living under a freaking rock for the last, Harris and Biden have been living under a freaking rock for the last 3.5, almost 4 years. Have done nothing for the American people, huh, Harris? Nothing for the American people. Oh, what did Trump do before COVID hit? or at least we think what COVID hit, because I'm still scratching my head on this whole thing. It really is. It feels like we're living in a third world or a fifth dimension or something, But what did Trump do? Created the highest job growth in American history, had the highest economy in American history, lowest unemployment rates in American history for not only minorities, blacks, Hispanics, you get the memo, right? Brought back manufacturing jobs, manufacturing jobs that the previous administration, Biden and Obama, said, it was impossible. You would need to have a magic wand. Yeah, he's done a lot. Yeah, he's done a lot in the last 3.5, almost 4 years. And like Trump said, Trump has done more in 47 months, folks, than Biden has done in 47 years of office. This is a person that came from the business world of big business, had no political experience whatsoever in Washington. But I guess for a businessman is doing a pretty damn good job. A pretty damn good job, if you ask me. It's crap. It's crap. Oh, what does Trump say? What does Trump say on all this this mess? Oh, you should hear it. We got a sound clip here on Trump. If Biden wins here, this is sound clip number 7, please.
Mr. President, there has been articles.
We got the sound clip or what?
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris not giving their position on court packing would be a national ad. I assume them both on record saying they would ban fracking would be an ad that would run in a lot of cycles in Ohio and Pennsylvania. Their website that endorses the Green New Deal, and Joe Biden saying he would spend trillions of dollars on it and pledging that. What would the new Green Deal look like, in your view, if implemented as promised by both Joe Biden and as a co-sponsor with Kamala Harris in the U.S. Senate?
Well, it's a deal that was conceived of by not smart people, AOC plus 3 and others. I don't even think they had any experience in the environment. But this was a deal conceived of, and the real price is $100 trillion. That's more money that this country could make in 100 years if things went well, okay? I mean, they literally want to take buildings down and rebuild them with tiny little windows, okay? Little windows so you can't see out, you can't see the light. And the whole thing is so crazy. It's such a crazy thing. And take a look. And Biden agreed to this with Crazy Bernie because, they have the manifesto. They've agreed to most of these things. And it's going to cost more money. Our country will be a ninth world country, not a third world country.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more with this crazy Green Deal, Green New Deal, whatever the hell, Green New Deal, right? Paul, he's shaking his head. Yes, he doesn't know. We don't know what's going to happen here if Biden wins. But like Trump says, and I can agree with Trump. It was Trump on Hannity last night, that if Biden wins, the U.S. will become a ninth world country. It will. It will, because they want to redo things. They want to raise your taxes. They're going to take your guns away. Folks, this is not a political an agenda strength or whatever you want to call it. This is real stuff, folks. You are living through crazy historic times. Like I said, this election means more than anything to you, the voter, because I'm telling you right now, if Biden wins, this is going to be worse than the Hillary pitch. Okay, if Biden wins, you will see another country. You will. I'm telling you, China will own this country if Biden wins. This country will, I mean, the liberties, the freedoms, they're out the window. They're out the window if the wrong set of leadership gets into office. We need Trump. We need him for another 4 years. We need him to continue the fight for the American people. It's all on you, the voter. I can't emphasize this more. All I can do is just do this podcast. Okay? I can try to encourage you, the listener out there, to vote for Trump, vote for right leadership, vote for strength. Okay? You want strength, you want right leadership, you want us to stay out of ridiculous foreign wars and affairs and all that. You want a strong economy. You want strong military. You want good jobs, low taxes. Vote for Trump. You want to live in a communist country where you have rioting, you have hate, you have division, you have high crimes, high unemployment rates, no jobs, food stamps, welfare. Then maybe you should vote for Biden. But who the hell would want to live in that world? Who would want to live in that society? I sure as hell don't. Folks, it's all on you. With that being said, thanks for joining into today's show, and we'll see you on the next one.
You just heard an episode of the Kitchen Angle Show, an Anchor podcast.